Hi guys, and welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, a podcast where two ordinary nerds talk about all the latest shows, movies, games, and everything nerdy.
For today's episode, we're going to talk about Comic-Cons. I'm Dan Narvaez, and next to me is Louis Booth.
Something we do in the podcast is that every episode we drink 1 or 3 beers. And we will try to have a different beer every time. Today I'm drinking on Oktoberfest by Sam Adams. It comes out between August and the end of September every year. It is my favorite beer. Daniel, what are you drinking on?
On this special occasion, our first episode, I'm drinking Tank 7 from Boulevard. It's a KC brewery, one of my favorite drinks. Anybody who hasn't tried it should try to get it.
Now that we know what we're drinking, time to throw on our cosplay and walk around the different vendors at Comic-Con.
For anybody who has never been to a Comic-Con, what would you say, Lou? It's what to expect. You know, if I was new to this world and I was like, hey, you should come to a Comic-Con. It's like, I've never been to it. How would you describe it?
For someone who hasn't been to one, it can be a little overwhelming at first. There's a lot of people, depending on which one you go to. I mean, for instance, like if you went to San Diego Comic-Con, obviously we haven't been there, but that place is, I mean, there are thousands of people. But here in Kansas City, our 2 Comic-Cons that we have, I would say it's not a little overwhelming at first, but then it's just more excitement than anything.
Yeah, exactly. I would have said, like, if you go to in the Comic-Con, you know, you're thinking you're going to see panels. I'm going to be honest, the first thing you're going to see when you're going to notice is the cosplay. Just walking down and you're going to see the good, the bad, and trust me, the ugly.
Definitely ugly.
But then the good ones are going to be like, holy fucking shit.
So we saw a guy, we went to a Comic-Con this weekend, and we saw a guy that was walking around dressed as Baby. I mean, barely wearing anything. I was like, what the fuck are you wearing?
But then you see other people like dressed like to the dot, like perfect, like the Mad Max crazies. That was amazing. I also say, yes, be prepared to have cash in hand, even though now it's getting to the point that most people have credit cards. But
buying stuff you can use credit cards for, but if you're wanting to, you know, take a picture with a celebrity that's there or, you know, someone you want to meet, you can meet them. But if you want to take a picture or get something autographed, it costs money. For instance, it's probably about $25 to $70 to get a picture with somebody.
But that's media, not creators. Media meaning TV and movies, those correct people. So like if you want to get a comic sign, it's free.
Yeah.
Unless he's Stanley.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about $100, $200.
Comic book artists are, they don't really charge you. If you want to see a media specialist, you know, like Daryl Dixon, you're going to spend, you know, at least $40 to take a picture with them. Sometimes they're nice enough, they're like, we'll take a picture with you for free. But ever since we've been, it's cost money.
Mm-hmm. And same thing is, there's going to be stores everywhere, most of it, and there's going to be pops and comics. Anything that's relatively, you know, popular right now, it's going to be overpriced in these locations. But if you dig through the mountains of comics, you can always find those gems for a decent price. It's like if the new Suicide Squad movie came out, anything Suicide Squad is going to go markup from $5 to, $50.
Well, for instance, I found that issue, that variance comic issue number 100 of Walking Dead, the black and white version, which going probably when it was sold was probably maybe $100, $200 maybe, or it still could be, but we found it for $35.
Yeah, you can find gems, but you have to look through it. Like, I mean, there's and it's easier said than done. Because there's so much stuff. And that's one of the great things of Comic-Con is that you can find anything for everybody. Like my wife, Lou's girlfriend came with us last year, and they both had a good time because both of them, like, they're very opposite girls, but they both felt like, ooh, look at this, ooh, look at that. Because there's so many vendors, and it's no longer comic, it's comic, and then you have your shows, and maybe your girlfriend likes Arrow, or maybe your girlfriend likes Doctor Who, there's going to be Doctor Who things, and there's going to be Arrow things, it's everything, and that has to be nerdy, is you just find Legos, and you find, what else, like, dresses, and a whole bunch of stuff.
They actually have vendors from our local Renaissance Festival that show up there. One of the coolest vendors I like the costume designers, the ones that have like Groot. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like the. That'd be cool to...
The local cosplayers?
Yeah,
exactly.
They have stores like that. Obviously, they have the TARDIS that you can walk into. They have... The vendors are really neat, though, because most of them have what you're looking for, and they have nice to walk around and see old 1990s toys that you grew up with.
Exactly. You find like the old Star Wars, like, oh my god, I used to have this.
Yeah.
And then you look at the prices, like, why did I ever lose them?
Just like that Star Wars character, the pilot from Episode 1. I don't know why my grandma bought me this. She could have bought me Darth Vader or Luke, something like that. But I got the pilot from Episode 1 that's flying Padme's ship. I looked at that toy when I saw it on Sunday, and I was like, why did I ever own this?
Also, the thing you should know is there's a whole bunch of like expositions and panels that you can go there. You sit down in the crowd, and they may do like questions and answers, or they just talk about their lives, their cosplay. So anybody who doesn't know what cosplay is, costumes. A contest, whoever has the best cosplay wins. There's always something to see and to watch. You don't have, there's not only buying. You can always sit down and enjoy a show, enjoy one of the creators or media asking questions. But I feel like that's pretty much what to expect.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we don't want to spoil the magic because it's very, now we're doing like a very cookie cutter. But there's a lot of magic in there. Once you go there, you understand it. Like, people are friendly. You can talk to creators. You can talk to the character from one show. It's incredible.
Everyone's really friendly at these. I mean, you never really run into someone that's just completely rude. Everyone's just complimenting on each other on their cosplays or their t-shirts. So here in Kansas City, we have 2 different Comic-Cons. We have in May, we have Planet Comic-Con, and then in August, we have Kansas City Comic-Con. The difference is Planet Comic-Con is our bigger version. It takes about a day or 2 to go through. Kansas City Comic-Con, it's a lot smaller. I mean, you could go through it in, maybe 2 hours. I mean, it's not long at all. They both have their pros and cons. What are some of your pros for Planet Comic-Con? What do you like about it?
Well, Planet Comic-Con is bigger. It's much bigger. Like I said, normally more famous people come in. Like, I looked up some numbers just for fun. Planet Comic-Con gets like 40,000 people, and guests like Stan Lee or Ten Phenom, that's Draco Malfoy, Lou Ferrigno from the Hulk. So we have like there's a bigger range of stars, and the KC Comic-Con normally gets like 10,000 people. People like Lando. Who else came to it?
There was one guy from one of the new Ninja Turtle movies. He wasn't real big. I didn't know who he was.
So there's it's quite. I mean, both the way they play Comic-Con, of course, is the better one, and it's quite big for being from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you got your New York Comic-Con and you got your San Diego Comic-Con that basically gets all this sunlight, and it feels like every single Comic-Con is like this. But it isn't. Like the local ones have more magic to it. Unless you want to go there and spend a day just to see the Game of Thrones fan in one of the theaters. Here it's more authentic. It's more what it should be and what it used to be. But I like Planet Comic-Con the best.
I like Planet Comic-Con the best because of junk. There's just so much junk for my nerd palace.
You have to save for months before I go there because I know my wallet is gonna go shaking home.
I know that's the issue going into there. Or you just at Planet Comic-Con, you're everything. It's just overwhelming. Like, oh, hey, look, there's something Lord of the Rings there that I want. There's something Game of Thrones there that I want. Look at that Walking Dead comic. I have to have that.
Exactly.
But then you go in there, and the issue is with a bigger one is you don't want to buy that one thing and then come back and realize, oh man, I shouldn't have bought that because I really want this instead.
Or you find it somewhere else cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's a possibility. You can, like for example, I remember I bought one of the pops, and it was the Spider-Man pop, and then I remember being so happy about it. And then one of the things, like when you find a whole bunch of stuff, is like you will find it. You will maybe walk 100 times down that aisle, and then you find a new thing.
Yep.
And of course, with my luck, I found a new pop, lower price. And of course, I mean, it's only $5, but at the same time, it's one of those like, save your money, be wise, and be patient.
Yeah. Yeah, like for instance, Planet Comic-Con, it being as big as it is, it's best to go 2 days, I'd say. Last time we went to Planet Comic-Con, it's 3 days. We went 3 days, and 3 days is a little much, but I could see going 2 days because you don't want to run through it real quick. There's just so much to see at this one. I mean, there's so many vendors. We're talking at least 3 times the vendors that are at Kansas City Comic-Con.
What panel did you went to?
We went to the Stephen Amell panel, like Arrow
Was it Aaron? We also went for the guy for Walking Dead.
No, we didn't. We didn't go. We met him at Kansas City Comic Con. That was
No, but we went to the panel when he was talking, wasn't he?
Herschel.
Not Herschel, the brother.
Oh yeah, we also went to the Michael Rooker Guardians of the Galaxy panel.
Exactly. Like if you can tell, I'm not our expert of Walking Dead here. I wasn't. I just know it's the brother without the hand.
Merle. Yeah, that was a good panel. That's the cool thing about Planet Comic Con is they have really good panels. You know, I'm not a fan of Arrow that much. Don't kill me. I know, but I don't. I'm more of a Walking Dead guy, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But, they have, that panel was really good to watch, and getting to see, Michael Rooker on stage talk about making Guardians of the Galaxy.
And you're right there, too. It's not like San Diego Comic Con, we have to wait 8 hours to see them.
7,000 people venue. It's not. It's like maybe, there was probably about 2,000 people in there, and we had to sit on the floor.
You think it was 2,000? I don't think it was even 2,000, but 100. 200 people.
No, there was about 2,000 people in there. It was a big venue. I mean, It was huge. Yeah, it was a huge hall, but it's still we had to.
We sit on the floor.
Yeah, so I mean, it was thousands. I mean, but it was still not 7,000 people in Hall 8.
But anyways, it's still fun.
Yeah,
like I mean,
it's great.
You see them. You see their face. You see their expression.
I like the awkward people that walk up and ask questions. It's more entertaining to watch people ask questions.
Who's the guy? What's his name? The guy. He was an asshole to some of those people.
Michael Rooker.
Yeah, he was. It's one of those he's an asshole, but you kind of like it. Because those questions, you're like, really, you waited 20 minutes to ask this stupid fucking question.
Yep.
What would you ask the guy who's in The Walking Dead and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy? What do you think if Zelda and they got in an argument? Who do you think will be saying sorry first? I was like, really?
Who cares?
Exactly. That's exactly the question. The answer he will say. Who cares?
Yeah. Next topic.
Next topic.
Yeah. As for Kansas City Comic Con, it's nice that we have two here because Kansas City Comic Con, we don't have to wait a full year for Planet. We could go to Kansas City Comic Con. It's incredibly smaller, but it's still fun to run through.
But it's getting bigger and bigger. That's the fun part. This is the second year that KC Comic Con has been out. The first year, it was too big for it, the space-wise, so it felt empty. This year, they cut the hall in half, basically, and it seemed more packed. There was a lot more vendors and a lot more people.
Yep.
But it's getting to the point you feel like you're helping your nerdiness, the nerd of the community, saying hey, we're here, we are there, you're walking down the street. And you see them, like Homer will say, you can scream, nerd! And they will know it. They will know, they'll be like, hey! And they will cheer. They're not ashamed anymore. And that point to be in the Midwest, it's a big deal.
Yep.
It's a big deal, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I like, Planet Comic Con, they have more so the bigger comic book people there. As for Kansas City Comic Con, they have a lot of hometown, homegrown comic book artists here from Kansas City there. And up-and-coming ventures. Which are really neat, and they also have different vendors that make handmade products that are, made here in Kansas City, like posters. They have jewelry, armor,
artwork. It's basically any type of artwork you love and you like, and that's one of the things that I love. It's the things that I love about just being part of the Comic Con is this is the people, really, the fucking cosplayers. For example, you can see. You can see the Mad Max, and you can see all the good cosplayers, even the bad cosplay. You can see this. Maybe it's a little kid walking around with a Mega Man helmet, having a great fucking time, and you see it with a dad. It's
still one of my favorite cosplays. Is when the first day we went there was a little boy that was walking around, and it's from 4th or 5th episode of Christopher Eccleston as Doctor Who, but he was walking around with a gas mask on, and in the episode, the kid goes, "Mama!" He's basically an alien, but still, the kid's cosplay was awesome.
I haven't seen the old Doctor Who. I've seen the first ones I hated Doctor Who at the beginning, but
it's not old. It was the one with the first of the new.
The one with the little plastic man?
Yeah, it was that season.
Oh,
yeah.
But one of the things I love about it is for me, I'm a nerd guy. I read. I'm the comic book here, more so and so expert. Not really, because I'm horrible with names, so I'll probably always forget, like, what's this guy's name and what, but I can tell you their backstory. One of the things I love is talking to the creators. Like, you go there and you say, hey, man, like, Jason Aaron, he lives here in Kansas City. He always goes to the Kansas City Comic Cons, and you just talk to him. He's like, hey, how about this new movie? Is it going to make a TV show? Like,
I don't mean to interrupt, but for those who don't know, who is Jason Aaron?
Jason Aaron is the guy who writes the story from like Star Wars comics, the new Thor comics. He has his own book with Jason Latour. It's called Southern Bastards. It's amazing, and there's been rumors for the longest time there's going to be an AMC show. So you can get there and you talk to him, and how's the TV show going? And he's like, we're working on it. It's close, and we're just you can talk about it. Is that something you can do? You can't do that every day. Like, imagine you can be able to talk to the guy from The Walking Dead and say, hey,
Yeah, there's no way you'd be able to talk to Robert Kirkman that long as you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like Walking Dead wasn't big from the get-go.
Yep.
So you go there and you're like, oh my god, fucking Negan. He's not as good as the governor, but he's all right.
Let's not get out of hand here. Everyone knows Negan. Negan is the one true king. Not Daenerys, not Jon Snow. Negan is.
But it's true. I mean, like the local vendors. Remember when we talked to the guy? We were thinking of doing like a Dungeons and Dragons. And
yeah.
We were like, hey, what do we need? And the guy's like, you don't need to spend money. You just need you can use an app for the dice. You can use a little piece of paper and you can make it your own, or you can buy this and that. That's the spirit of the Comic-Con. So like, you can go somewhere, talk with somebody, and be like, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And they give you their honest opinion.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that works with all the other bigger cities. Maybe they're less friendly than the Kansas City ones, but that's our experience so far.
I'm sure they're still friendly. It's probably a little more hectic because you don't have as much time to talk to each individual customer because there's thousands of people.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, for example, like we were going down to the scene and you could talk to somebody who's a local creator. Like, I know Lewis has talked to this lady and his, was it her dad or?
Yeah, it was her dad and
we will talk about it a little bit more further, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, a local girl created a comic and she's trying to push it, and you just go there and you talk to her and you're like...
Yeah, we just walked past them, they're like, hey guys, how you doing? We're like, good. Then we walked
You've
up.
been a bit of history now.
Yeah,
you're drawn into it.
History nerd in the
But you spend like 30 minutes talking to somebody, and you can see they have the passion, how they want to talk about it, how they want to, you're helping that person out.
Yep.
And it could be this thing, this comic that we're going to talk about, or it can be something else. It can be maybe you're into armor, and there was the armor girl, vendor over there. You can go there and you can speak an hour with about armor.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you feel passionate about, because, it's no longer about comics. It can be books or paintings or drawings.
Yeah.
Or making maps out of the leather.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have maps that are made out of hide they show, maps of Hobbiton, of Middle Earth, of Mordor, of, Game of Thrones. It's really neat what they have. And then the same company makes their real leather-bound books. Mm-hmm. And they either have a map on them, or one of them had like a, the Mind of Moria.
Speak, friend, and enter?
Merilon.
But yeah, that's exactly it. That's why I like it. I mean, and that's the thing, like, you can find shit everywhere. Like, you can walk down that aisle 100 times, and then the 101st time, you're like, oh my god, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing. The only disappointment I would say with Kansas City Comic-Con is just the lack of vendors. For instance, we have a store here called Vintage Stock. They weren't there at this Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger stores.
They go to Planet Comic-Con. They usually have really neat junk to buy. Like, for instance, I bought for $25, I bought a change jar that was Han Solo and Carbonite. I instantly bought that because not a bad deal for that, and it's a good decor item in my room. Yeah. So,
what else have you bought over the years? This year you bought
just 2 comics, and then because I bought the Walking Dead first issue of the 6 issues.
Who was in it? Like, I remember, I forgot.
It's Michonne.
Michonne. Oh yeah, is it with the katana?
Yeah, they're fighting the Whisperers, and it's going to be one huge panorama.
I'm going to try to get it like a
I'm going to put them together and frame it.
That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, I liked the Planet Comic-Con because they have a lot more stuff to look at. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it's growing. Like we said, like
Yeah.
it's 2 years. There's no shame. It's growing, and we're supporting it. And that's the whole entire this podcast is. It's going. So to your local ones and go there because
support
you might
your nerdy people.
yeah, make sure because slowly in the news it's gonna show up. They're gonna start talking about it like they do, like here.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at now. I mean, like if you go back,
Stan Lee came to the Kansas City Con. Like
Yeah.
Stan Lee, like if that happens in San Diego, unless you're there 8 hours and hours in advance, you're not gonna be able to shake his hand or take a picture, regardless if you're gonna pay or not. Here, you're still gonna have to pay. Don't get me wrong.
but you get a way better chance.
You get a volunteer chance. You're there, and it's it's showing like how it's important to go and to support it because if people didn't go, Stan Lee wouldn't go.
Yep.
And like a little nerd like myself, unfortunately, I couldn't meet him because I was busy with my bachelor party. But if I was there, I was definitely gonna be there and shake his hand and be like, "Dude, you made my favorite comic.
Yeah.
You're Spider-Man. I would take a picture. I would even paid to take a picture, frame it in my wall, and be my prized possession."
He made X-Men, man. That's
He made a whole bunch.
probably
He made too
favorite
much.
thing on earth.
But that's the point. The point is support the local community. And I don't know, things that I'm not quite so fun about is like damn overpriced. Like dude, like
Yeah.
really like
$35 to get in was a little high.
it was a little high, and apart from the ticket, it's like you find something that you're passionate about, and you look at it, and then you know it's not worth that much. Like they will try to trick you. Not all of them are shady. I'm not saying they're shady. It's just price and demand, and of course they need to. That's what they do. They just pay a whole bunch of money to be there.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you remember, we were walking around to the different pop stations when we first went to Planet Comic Con last year, and they had the one stand was selling pops for like one for $20, and then you walk 3 aisles over and you could find the same pop, buy 2 for $20 or buy 3 for $20. So it's best not to just jump the gun because you're gonna find what you're looking for. You just need to find the right shop. Oh, hey, this guy has it for 20, but I can get it here for 10.
Yeah, I guess it's the fun part too, just to be able to dig in and find the good deal. But at the same time, it's like I just don't like paying money for a picture. I mean, I understand why they do it, but the cheap side of myself like kills me a little bit. Saying like, do I really need to pay $30 to take a picture with you?
I think it's.
But I understand why they take because they fly over here, they spend the night in the hotel, they they do all this, so I understand why they do it.
But they still get paid by the cons to do it.
Yeah.
So realistically, I mean, in their defense, I understand why they do it, but I think I can understand charging for an autograph. That makes sense. But charging for a picture, I guess in a sense it weans out the masses. Okay, I don't want to take a picture because it costs money. That's one person they don't have to take a picture with. It saves them time. The sooner they get through all the people, the sooner their day's done.
Well, I guess their signature does make the object more worthy.
Yeah.
More worthy, but
I do, in a sense, I understand, like, you get paid a lot of money to do these shows and stuff, and these fans go out to see you.
Yeah.
Why would you charge them an arm and a leg to get a picture with you?
Honestly.
I understand doing it. I mean, I would, for instance, like when our friends paid to take a picture with Herschel, that was completely worth it. That guy is the nicest guy on the planet. I want him as my step-grandfather. But
with or without a leg?
both. With or without the head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened with her? The governor.
Yeah.
Like a true king.
I mean, the governor's cool.
The governor's...
He killed the main character and then got killed right after. Unlike Negan, spoiler alert, who's still alive. So, I mean...
Yeah, but everybody knows that a good fan loves the governor better.
I mean, the governor's a good character, but
I'm just joking. Don't flood our emails with hate Daniel.
Flood our emails with hate against Daniel because I hate that.
That's a good, easy way to rather any Walking Dead fan just saying Negan is 10 times worse than the guy.
No, there's some Walking Dead fans that just they're oblivious and they think the governor's the best also, but they're just
Everybody has their own, but I do think Negan is a little more fun to read.
Negan is way more fun to read just because he has that sense of humor. I mean, just like we're getting on a tangent here, but just when he flicks Carl's hat, he says, lighten up, kid. Cry a little.
Exactly, that's the... But going back to our con and our great story, you talked to this... What's her name?
I talked to Haley Nitz and her father, Jay Nitz. They local based out of a city in Olathe. Her uncle is a comic book artist for DC, and she, after school, after high school, she got this idea that she liked history. She realized, I don't want to make a movie, I can't do a TV show, but my uncle is a comic book artist, so what can I do there? Well, she had a profound interest in World War II, and was really captivated by the idea that Hitler was not actually, he didn't actually kill himself, he escaped. For those who
use like a buddy double or like a...
Yeah, for those who don't know, at the end, the last days of World War II, the Russians were closing in on Hitler in the bunker. They call it the Führer bunker because he is the Führer.
And it's a bunker?
And it's a bunker. Fair enough. Thank you for that. But yeah, so supposedly he got married the night before, then the next day him and his wife...
One day it took?
Yeah, one day, and he's like, Ava, we're done.
Once it Ava was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck you, Hitler. You're an asshole. It's real. It's true what they say. You're an asshole.
Why do you not love me?
You're an asshole, dude.
Yeah. So supposedly they killed each other. They put a bullet in each other's head, and then they took cyanide, then shot themselves. So that they made sure, and then
double tap.
Yep, double tap. Pop, pop. And then they made sure by their remains were burned. Well, in the comic, it views it as, okay, did he actually die, or did he just have a body double take their place, like a female and a man take their place?
When does the book start?
Book starts a couple days before the Russians get to where get to the bunker, the Hitler bunker, if you will. Yeah. So basically, by the end of the comic, he have two doubles, and they kill the doubles, and then they escape.
Both of them?
Yeah, his wife and him.
Was he cuckoo like in the movies tend to say, or does it make him look like sane and rational?
Yeah, that's the interesting part about the comic, is you see things in both the American and British eyes, because it's about the comic's about obviously Hitler escaping, but an American PI or American GI and a British Special Forces chasing after Hitler, or they begin by chasing after special needs targets, like they're going after Hitler, they're going after Goebbels or Himmler.
So the book is about two guys, British and American, going.
Yeah, they have a special mission to go.
You don't follow Hitler. You're following them too.
Well, they don't know. They're first trying to find, because the war is almost over, so they're trying to find high asset targets to kill. But then they stumble upon the bunker where that's basically where it ends, is where they're at the bunker, and someone tells them, oh, Hitler died. We heard that he was killed. And so their generals are basically stating, oh, you need to go follow up on this. Let's make sure he's dead. And then that's where the comic leaves you is, okay, are they dead? Did they, in their eyes, in the American and British eyes, oh, is he really dead? Or are we?
So basically, you see a little bit before it happens. I guess you see Hitler and her talking, getting married and doing all the yada yada stuff.
Well, yeah.
And then it switches to the Americans saying, "Oh, this is our target." They get there. And there's like what? Like there's two bodies, and they're like, well, maybe.
Well, no. Someone tells them word of mouth. They get told, oh, these two people died. They committed suicide beforehand. But yeah, and then you see it through the Germans' eyes, and usually Hitler is depicted. Most of the German Nazi Party is depicted as batshit crazy. But in the book, or in this comic, he's not really depicted that. He's more humanized, which makes sense, but...
Well, I mean, if he's basically crazy, he couldn't be too smart to escape. So
yeah.
They had to give him that sort of like...
He
knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So now it's more of an espionage thriller, Jason Bourne meets Hitler. But
this is Chasing Hitler, right?
Yeah, the story is called Chasing Hitler. Basically, this is the first issue 1. They're going to start a Kickstarter soon. The Kickstarter is going to be for issue number 2 and 3, which will come out at the end of 2017. And if those kick off, then they will probably get a distributor, and it'll become it'll be a full-fledged comic. I will say the only dislike I have, the likes I have, it's the art in the comic is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm flipping through it. It's pretty good.
It's going to need a little more action, and has some here. I understand issue 1, you can't cram all that in because it's a first issue. There's a little more action in it. It's very, on the German side, it's historically accurate. It's to a T. Yeah.
Huh.
To a T, they did a pretty good job of representing the wedding before they supposedly killed themselves, and it's very interesting. It's fun to read. The only dislike I have of it was it's kind of a slow pace, which for being a first issue of a first comic, you can't really cram that much information in the first one, so I'm sure it'll pick up the pace, but it's a slow read. If you're not into history, I think that's going to be the biggest and the hardest sell.
It's a fun read, is it? And even though it's not...
It's fun. For someone who's a history nerd, I liked it.
But if it wasn't Hitler and it was Magneto and it was Professor X sending 2 X-Men, do you think it would be the same appeal?
It would be a different appeal because you're having your favorite X-Men characters versus... I think the hardest sell here is a historical. A lot of people go for Comic-Cons for...
escape reality almost.
Escape reality, and they like their fictional characters. This is based off history. Not all people
does
think
it touch sensitive? If you're a sensitive guy, not a sensitive guy. If you're a sensitive person, what do you think it's being Nazi? Would it be? Is it too hard?
No.
So
they don't put any hardcore ideals of the Nazis in there. It's more just
the basic ideas.
Basic ideas. We were trying to win this war. We lost. Let's kill each other.
Would you get this in the second comic?
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, they basically just kill themselves out of lack.
Is it historically? I know, it's not, but historically accurate, the medals, the pins, the uniform.
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, when I talked to her on Sunday or Saturday, she said that they did so much research as to make sure that the markings on the soldier were correct, the markings on the British soldier were correct.
Oh, so she did the research and just looked what they wear and just more of the copy?
Well, it has to be very specific because it's military. So if he's basically the soldier the American soldier, they need to make sure he has the proper amount of stars and stripes on him and the medals. And same with the British intelligence officer, they need to make sure he's wearing the proper pendant of that time.
That's cool.
Yeah, so everything was super
the guns
detailed.
And the weapons are still...
Yep, guns and weapons are supposed to be... Yeah, it's really accurate. I'm very impressed. If anything, it's a good work of art. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I remember you talking to her quite a bit of time. I don't know what I was doing. I was looking at some other panel, a shop, but it seems interesting. I've been flipping through it all this time.
Yeah,
it seems fun. It seems
and once they get closer to issuing the comic out, if you guys stay tuned, we will be doing an interview with her and her father to
try to promote it a little bit.
Yeah, to promote it a little bit, just to talk to them more about what's to come in the comic. And then in our bio, I'll link their website. So if you guys wanted to buy a copy of it, you guys could, or if you guys
fund the Kickstarter.
Yeah, fund the Kickstarter.
And if you have any questions, you can always email us or Twitter, and we will make sure to ask those questions. It's even though it's kind of soon right now until we still have to give her some time for her to work out the Kickstarter. So they're kind of busy. So this is more like a long run. We still got until the end of 17, so it should be fun.
All right. Well, that was our topic about our Comic-Cons.
Episode 1, right?
Yeah, not bad. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. You can always message us on our Facebook, Twitter. We're at 2 Ordinary Nerds on Facebook.
If you want to email us, 2ordinarynerds@gmail.com. Our Twitter's 2ordinarynerds.
Yeah.
So you guessed it. We're 2 Ordinary Nerds.
And now we're on to our next topic. At the end of every episode, close to the end of every episode, I'm gonna run through some news. I follow a lot of news basis that talks about movies, TV shows, anything. So I'm going to throw out some news. The Russo brothers did post on Saturday or Sunday, that they are on their way to Atlanta. Said, and it begins, which means that filming for Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and whatever the second movie they're going to name. Whatever they're going to name it, but they're filming them back to back.
So they're going to start filming soon?
Yeah, they're going to start filming. Well, the movie starts film. They're doing pre-production right now. They just landed there to start pre-production, but the filming starts late September, early October. Black Panther, they're starting to gear up for that. That starts filming in January, which is interesting because if you think about it, he's going to be in the Avengers movie, so are they going to film in Atlanta too? Because he's going to have to be back and forth. Then I also, Deadpool news, things are starting to gear up for Deadpool 2. I heard that there's a lot of buzz going around that Kyle Chandler, yeah, is going to be a Cable, which I'm not cool with. I
do not judge because Heath Ledger changed my opinion of judging.
Agreed.
So he might be it. I was hoping for somebody else, but
yeah,
Deadpool was a great hit. The first one.
The guy from
I just can't see him.
I want the guy from Avatar, the bad guy from Avatar. That guy would be the best Cable guy, I think. Ironically,
but we don't know if this Cable is going to be young Cable. They may show him like as a John Cable, or
I just don't see Kyle Chandler. I mean,
but I didn't see Ryan Reynolds as a Deadpool, and he did hit him apart. So it doesn't matter. It's just let them do their shit, and let's criticize when we see it.
For those who don't know or didn't see on Sunday, they had a Walking Dead Season 7 preview special on.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had a teaser that was at the end. It was basically Talking Dead, but with a preview special, like talking about what's going to happen next season.
Talking about Talking Dead?
Talking about Talking Dead.
Oh, there was a lot of talking.
Chris Hardwick, if you're listening to this, please come on our show. But
or we can go to yours.
Or we can go on Nerdist too. We listen to Nerdist podcast. But basically, there was a little preview at the end it wasn't a preview, it was like a clip of Season 7. And they showed Dwight, which those who don't know, Dwight is the guy that has half a burned face. They showed...
The guy from The Office?
But they showed him, and he's walking his bike around some zombies, and he has Daryl's vest on. So there's a lot of
what?
Daryl's vest on. So there's a lot of buzz going around that Daryl's the one who's going to get the bat.
So Twitter's going crazy?
Yeah, I mean a lot of people are thinking that. I'm still, my pick is Glenn still. I think they're just trying to psych people out. And then for the last thing, Robert Downey Jr. is rumored to be teaming up with the guy who created what is that show? True Detective, and they're going to create a show on HBO. So Robert Downey Jr. might be on a TV show on HBO in the coming years, which would be cool. I'd like to see him in a TV show also. There's not enough RDJ out there, man.
Yeah, he makes good movies and okay movies.
Yep.
He has no middle term.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it what I got for news. Daniel, what are you watching, playing? What are you doing?
I'm just, like I said, I was in Comic-Con. I just bought Southern Bastards. Anybody pick that show up before MC goes crazy and makes a show, and then forget about it. All those comics going to be worth 10 times more. I'm playing Dead by Daylight. It's a horror game. It's fun. It's a different horror game that I've never played that style before.
Isn't that the game where isn't it basically like you have a either you're the serial killer or you're the person trying to escape, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
So there's 4 different killers. They're all different, and there's 4 survivors. It's all multiplayer, so you can be or the killer trying to kill the 4 survivors, or the 4 survivors try to survive the killer by doing that sort of missions. And if you get it without getting caught, you win. And it's one of those that you have your heart in your sleeve all the time. And I just finished watching, I think it was last week, is Stranger Things. I love it. We're going to have a podcast about it next week. And
we are?
Yeah.
What? I guess I should get on that. I didn't know we were going to watch that show.
Chop, chop.
I'm just kidding. That was a good show.
What are you reading?
Right now, obviously, I'm read Chasing Hitler, keeping up to date with
Great review.
Thank you for that. Keeping up to date with Walking Dead, and I'm watching the show on BBC. It's called Ripper Street. It's kind of like a detective drama, but it's about it's like a historically based drama about after Jack the Ripper. It's a good show. This is its 4th season.
Oh yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead starts this weekend, so gonna watch that. The Last Ship. What I'm playing, I'm excited for the end of this month because the last DLC for Fallout 4 comes out. It's called Nuke World,
Huh.
and it's an amusement based DLC for Fallout. Basically,
You can have your own amusement park now.
no, you could go through and there's it's owned like by raiders, but you go through and you could ride amusement park rides and kill zombies and kill super mutants, and it looks really neat. You get a lot. They have a paddle board, like a paddle board that has a little bouncy ball on it, and you can put an electrode on it and smack people in the head and they'll shock them.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's always entertaining. So yeah, that's what I'm playing.
All right, well, keep doing it, and we see you guys next week.
Yeah, once again, if you guys if you guys would like to message or comment, email us at twoordinarynerds@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at two ordinary nerds, and Facebook 2 Ordinary Nerds.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Cheers.